the conventional society, anything for the most part middle class and lower, are victims of a system that subdues you and makes you conform. That's a fact. I find my life just tends to be better when I'm in a state of belief in God.
Yeah.
Now because my brain won't let it go, what I'm trying to understand is this: is my life better because of the real thing that I'm believing, or is there some subtle guilt of having atheistic ideas and questioning that makes me self-sabotage? You know my backstory. I used to be an alcoholic, raging alcoholic. And the thing with alcoholics, you can make booze appear from thin air. I just now channel that energy on the pod. And all the big guests I've got before I got them, bro, I have no shame. Like me, I'll text you 15 times. So the aim is to get you there.
Yeah.
Collaboration is key. There's 8 billion, actually there's 16 billion eyeballs if you count it eye for eye.
Yeah.
What are we fighting? What is gatekeeping?
Go check out this guy's pod. It's called Every Other Time with Eric.
Thank you, man.
There's the way you say it, man.
Every Other Time with Eric. So, first of all, the reason I agreed to come, one is, of course, I love supporting my fellow podcasters.
Yeah.
But also the strength and rapport I've built with Mafrika. He just recommended, and I was like, no, say less, because Murph is someone who's come through for me in this podcast game. I mean, he opened his platform for me for free.
Yeah.
I called the number
on the screen,
and it worked out, and we've been friends since. So when Murph tells me, yo man, there's this guy is trying, it's not even something to think about for me.
Yeah. So one of the things that really drew me to have you here is there's this pod that you did with Sajid.
Yeah.
And one of the things you guys said is that you want to work out for the next couple of months, and then at the end of it, you want to have a fight.
Yeah, so...
I think Sajid pushed back on the fight part, but...
First of all, believe it or not, I know I'm bigger, I'm taller than Saj. He can probably kick my ass because he's done Muay Thai, he's more trained. So outwardly, to a layman, it might look like, this guy would watch this guy, but no, I've seen him even in the gym, and it's a different level. Me, I'm a complete novice.
Yeah.
So I would have to first train to learn how to fight, to build up to the fight. But, I'll tell you this for a fact, man. Being a big guy trying to lose weight is one of the hardest things, man. Throwing a day job, and I don't want to look like I'm making excuses. So it's up and down, man. Up and down, up and down. I'll have bursts of 2 months, you get chop or lose. And for someone like me of my size, I'm a guy of plus minus 20 kgs. Plus minus 20. So I can lose easily 15 kgs in 2-3 months.
Yeah.
And you'll see, for you as someone who knows me, you'll see your face looks a bit different. But for me, real gains start at 25. That's when you'll see, wow, this guy has lost weight. To some people, adding 5 kgs is unheard of, or losing 5 kgs. But I'm just trying to paint you a picture of my world, my scale of things.
Yeah.
So ups and downs, man. The times now, and me, I'm a guy of, I like to have beginnings. So now I know 1st October, I'm going back on the horse.
Yeah.
I like having that thing I'm building up to it, and then I start, and then so I started some 3 months ago, then I just fell off, man. I fell off, and, you just let go of that grip. One day, I'm not going to gym, I'm feeling lazy. 2 days, let me eat a burger, man. What's wrong, man? Okay, this was one burger, 1 day of gym, why not a pizza, man?
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's been a month. You've just been off the wagon.
Yeah.
So, and also for my job, my job also, the reason I'm not bigger than I am is because of my job, because they keep us on toes, man. Yeah, you can't
go beyond a certain weight.
You can't be morbidly obese and fly, because you pose a risk to
all the folks you have behind you.
Yeah, so that's really kept me in check.
Yeah,
I never let it get too far out of hand. I think others would have been if I was like an IT guy.
Yeah,
I'd probably be sitting on the couch. You'd have to set up the couch here.
Or a gamer, like a what do you call it? Like the YouTube gamers.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you get started? A quick one. I'm switching it up on you. How did you get started? This is a cool setup. Your story is quite interesting, man.
How did I get started on the pod?
Yeah.
So in 2021, I was just hanging out with friends of mine. I had this equipment lying around. And I just thought maybe I would hang out with folks and just start singing.
How do you have equipment like this lying around?
Oh, okay. So not all the equipment. So I had 3 cameras from doing film back in the day. And I looked for a switcher. So I do a live show on YouTube. I didn't have these lights. I think I had 7 of these lights back here, the newer something 330 or whatever. So I had like 7 or 8 of these lights, and I'd light up a room and just sit down with folks and play or sing and play. So that's how I got started. But I think after a while I burnt out, and I decided to come back last year. And so what I did last year is I just called my friends and I told them, I want you on the pod. So my first guest was my cousin. He's a real estate developer.
Yeah.
I called him up and I told him, Stefan, I want you to tell me how to become rich, like you. On a professor's salary, I wouldn't make a certain level of money.
So he's a rich guy?
He's generally rich, yes. And so we just vibed on the pod and people liked it. I got, I think, like 300 views and I was like, okay, we're going somewhere. And so from there, I've been building slowly and slowly.
Isn't podcasting the best thing in the world?
I think this is the best thing ever after hot chocolate.
I think for me, like, I have a pretty cool job. I'm not even going to pretend. I fly planes.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I love it. Today, I had such a blast. The weather was good. It was a nice day of flying.
Yeah.
I was a very nice crew as well. But there's something about podcasting that's just so fulfilling.
Yeah,
you exchange ideas. Bro, I walked in here. We don't know each other. How long?
We've known like 90% about very intimate stuff about each other. Man.
Yeah, there's been no awkwardness.
Yeah.
And I think podcasters have that thing where we're not presenting a certain way. I'm not here to be like, sorry, my name is yes. What you see is what you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you are very generous. When I listen to your pod, man, you are very open, very vulnerable is what I'd say. The first time I came across your pod was when you came to Moaf's episode. I don't know what number of episode that was. Let's look for that episode and put up the thumbnail of that episode on the screen for folks to see. Go check out Moafrika's episode 2, Ikonini. And so I listened to that, and then 3-4 days later, I see your episode popping up on my feed.
Yeah.
I was like, let me listen to it. And then from there, I've just been listening to you.
The algo did the thing, man. Shout out the algorithm, man.
Yeah, man. I think you've done really well. For someone who's been in this for a year, I'd say it took
14, 15 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been on this thing for way longer than you. I've been here for, I'd say, 3 years. But I've not hit your targets. And maybe one thing you're going to tell me off the pod, off camera, there's something you said once to somebody. I don't remember who it was, but you said, I will tell you what to do. I think you were telling him. So someone was telling you, can I put my pod on Spotify, on this, on that? And you told him, no, I stick to YouTube first and then go elsewhere later. And then you told him, I'll tell you the formula of the pod.
So I've been showing, my good friends, Sajid. Shout out Sajid and Coffee Pump. Shout out Farid, the trio.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it starts with grit, man.
Yeah.
Because when I started my pod, I was a nobody. Like, who am I to call anyone who's a celeb to dare come to? I'm coming there as like.
Your first episode though, you had what, Moaf on?
Yeah, I had Moaf.
And then your second episode, yeah, like Khalif, and then I think Eric, Kibe came like on the third one.
Is
yeah.
But it's the shameless pursuit of celebs.
Yeah.
Like, or interesting. I don't even like to say that. Let me not say celebs, because for me, my podcast is not celebrity driven. It's guest driven, but it has to be someone I care about enough to want to know about their story.
Yeah.
It's not just a celeb. There's so many recommendations I get. The other day, a good friend of mine was like, why haven't you had Vera?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, cool, she probably has an interesting story, but do I care to know it?
Yeah.
I have to care to know it first.
Mm-hmm.
So, my backstory. I used to be an alcoholic, raging alcoholic. And the thing with alcoholics, you can make booze appear from thin air.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're down on the money, you'll figure out a way to finesse your way to get a quarter or whatever you may need to do. I just now channel that energy on the pod. Like,
mm-hmm.
I want to have such and such on the pod. I'll give an example. Most recently, my biggest interview so far was Big Homie Sisi.
Yeah. Shout out Big Homie.
Big Homie.
Let's put a photo of Big Homie on the screen.
Amazing guy, interesting
mm-hmm.
guy. So I saw him on Lingugi and I'm like, And by the shout out Lingugi, no hate here.
Mm-hmm.
whatever she's built is fantastic. But I'm like, nah, I'll do a way better job
than Lynn.
So I quickly reached out to someone I know who works with her. And I'm like, you guy, front me this guy's number, man. Just give me the number. From there,
I'll deal it.
Bro, I sent him 2-3 episodes. I can't remember which episode I sent. Bro, he was like, let's work, man. He came the next day. Because he's like, he was not getting the kind of interaction that he was looking for from a Kenyan podcasters, including even like Lynn, someone of her stature. Now, I wouldn't expect Lynn, because even age-wise, demographic-wise, to know about Chirac, to know about the intricacies of gangs in the States. So it's not a hard thing, you know. It's not, but he was really yearning for someone they can go on a
head-to-head
on a wavelength that's similar. So I can't remember which podcast I sent. I think I sent him one of my conspiracy ones. I was like, these Kenyans are talking about the pyramids and so and all the big guests I've got before I got them, bro. I have no shame. Like me, I'll text you 15 times. Yeah, see, the aim is to get you here.
Yeah,
because I know when you come here, it's gonna be worth it. I have no shame. Sikukati. I'm not vibing you.
So you text me 15 times with blue ticks.
If you see my thread with Sonko right now.
You've talked about Sonko a couple. I'm waiting for that episode, man.
Right now, we're looking at come and tell Sonko he needs to come on the
Sonko, you need to come on the platform, man. You need to come to EOTWE.
Because if in a first world, Sonko could probably have me arrested for stalking. Stalking.
Yeah.
But bro, I think he has like 7 phones. He probably is corresponding with like 400 guys. Out of sight, out of mind. So the times we correspond, he starts telling me tentative dates. But eventually I'm going to get him.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give up. And then also what I was trying to inculcate in like Sajid, my friend, I was like, bro, you have to remove your pride. There's no pride. So you have a goal. And Sajid is in sales. The goal is to sell.
Yeah.
There's no pride attached to wanting someone on the podcast. Apart from like kissing us but the pursuit. Eventually, guys come, you have a podcast, it's fulfilling. So until I get to that place where the name is so undeniable, like now it's people reaching out to come on EOTWE and they are people of stature.
Yeah.
This is the building phase. You have to do it.
You have to do it, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to all the folks who've believed in you enough to come on your pod, on your platform, because I feel like you're very knowledgeable in very many subject areas that you make the interaction very fulfilling. I also feel like it's very fulfilling for the guests, even for the audience. Folks like me who've been watching you for a while. So like I was saying, when I saw you with Sajid after that episode, I also have things that I'm going through, maybe mentally or physically and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go and I want to join this gym that these guests have been going to for a couple of days, a couple of months.
Next gen on Mombasa Road.
Yeah,
In fact, it's so timely that you bring this up because even Farid was calling us out juicy. Although Sajid he's doing better than I am.
Yeah.
And that's why I told him I have to have a start date. So like now today is 24th. I can't start on 24th. It has to start on fast.
Yeah.
I have to build up to that. So fast we're revamping the thing again, and you're more than welcome to join. It will probably even help us with accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fast, I think I'm gonna be there too.
Yeah. You're more than welcome.
I'm gonna be joining you
because
guys.
we need that accountability apart from just me and him. Because as fat guys, man, bro. You guys, we go get some Chinese dinner,
Yeah.
Let's go.
I haven't met Sajid yet. I hope to get him on this pod too sometime.
Definitely come. I'll connect. That's easy. I'll connect you with him. That's easy.
And chat with him, because I think that you guys bring this sort of energy onto the podcasting space in Kenya that is so interesting, because you guys do you have this dynamicism is the word? Is there a word like that?
Yeah, there is a word like dynamicism, yes.
Yeah, you have this way that you just, fit into each other's,
camaraderie.
lives. Yeah.
Camaraderie. Remember, Saj and I go way back. We were in high school as early as the age of 14, 15 together. Different class, different stream, but we used to cross paths a lot. Like, I was a very social, I'd interact with a lot of people, and I used to find Sajid we used to call it, he had a black swagger.
Yeah.
For Chuti. We used to call him Chiga, the N-word, but now Chi.
Yeah.
And since then, we just had a rapport. So, of course, we lost contact after high school, as people do. So, one day I'm just on TikTok, and I'm scrolling the TikTok world, and I see this guy. I'm like,
Just that guy.
That's Sajid. And then his essence was exactly as I remember. Of course, I'm a
Never
maturer,
changed.
grown-up guy, but now the core him was still there.
You could see it.
And I reached out with immediate effect, and we've been working since. And then another thing I'm really trying to show people in Kenya is, man, collaboration is key. You know, where there's 8 billion, actually there's 16 billion eyeballs if you count it eye for eye.
Yeah.
What are we fighting? What is gatekeeping? What is all this nonsense where you hear tragic stories of why the Kenyan music industry didn't go to where it should have gone by now. You hear about gatekeeping. You hear about people trying to block others. Like, what the... I mean, let's look west. Joe Rogan has shown the world, like, he created a whole universe of podcasts.
Yeah.
And everyone mutually benefited. From Fighter and the Kid, Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub. What's this guy for? Tiger Belly. You have Andrew Santino and I'm forgetting the Asian guy's name. You have Theo Vaughn. All these guys came under the umbrella of...
Did Theo Vaughn shoot up because of...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because Joe is the podfather in the real sense, globally,
Yeah.
And he, because he's a comedian, he would have his immediate friends, hey guys. So what used to happen, how he describes it was, he used to be in a green room. And what I gather a green room is in a comedy club setting is where guys chill before they go do their set. So it's like a common area where there's vibes, Ogato is about to go up. We're just chilling. This is where guys are smoking weed. And then he used to whip out a camera, some mics, and just start picking a story. At the time, no one understood what is this you guys are doing? But of course, it's his immediate friends. Eddie Bravo. You know Eddie Bravo?
Yeah, I know Eddie Bravo.
Huge.
Put up Eddie Bravo's foot on the screen.
I love Eddie Bravo. I got to know him through that. So all these guys became mini superstars in their own right because of that. Now, look at, for example, and I hate to say this because I don't necessarily identify as a black. It's only when you go west where they're like, you're black. Yeah, I mean, that's a dude, man.
Yeah.
So look at, for example, now we're talking in the entertainment culture of things, where you look at things like, most recently, one of my biggest, a person I'm a really huge fan of, Dame Dash.
Yeah.
Beefing with Cameron. When do you see white people doing such shit? At Joe Rogan going back and forth with Theo Vaughn.
Very rarely.
It's a culture of...
You could see it in politicians, though.
It's like, a culture of trying to hold everything, as in, they think they are fighting for this small thing. Yeah, Joe Rogan has shown like, yo, man, there's enough. There's more than enough.
Do you think Joe shoots every day?
By now, he probably has it down to a science. You'll find maybe he shoots twice a week.
Okay. But I feel like he releases an episode every day.
And...
Maybe it shoots
I
people?
think every other day.
Every other day, okay.
But when you go to like, I had the privilege of going on Dr. Kingore's show, and what I quickly learned is there's levels, bro. Those guys, the episodes they're shooting now are for like a month and a half from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have it stacked, So Joe is probably, of course, considering current affairs, you don't want to be stale with your news.
Yeah.
But I think he bangs out, maybe in a week he'll bang out 4 or 5. 4 or 5 episodes,
which is some level of consistency, hard work, and discipline that goes into that. I think that's beautiful. Other one, I told you that I tried going into becoming a pilot. I still hope to become a pilot. So, folks, if you've watched my very first intro episode, I tell you folks that I became a pilot. So I thought I'd have become a pilot by the time that episode was released, but I haven't yet. And backstory here is that I am too busy to go and get my flight hours done. So I'm still going to get them.
That's a good reason. At least it's not fear. It's not, what do you call it? Resources. You're a blessed guy. I mean, for you, if the struggle is just time, meaning you're somewhere else expending your energy, that's a positive problem to have, as opposed to Mazes in a door or I'm scared, So, but then again, everything is organization.
Yeah.
You have to plan accordingly within your schedule to make it happen. Because technically, even off camera, you're telling me you know your schedule in advance.
Yeah.
You just now have to fine tune it and slot in flying in there, even if it's once, twice, thrice a week.
One of the things that I was planning to do is to buy a plane with 3 other people, and then we can get our hours that way.
Bro, what's your tax bracket, man? You know, you're talking about buying planes, bro.
No. So I mean, a plane would probably cost $100,000.
Yeah.
So if we put in 4 people put in $25,000 each, we can afford to buy a plane. My only problem with that is I feel like I'm very poor at maintenance. So if I have my car and I hear it making some type of noise, I would be like, you know what? It can drive another maybe 100, 200 kilometers before I go to the garage.
No, bro, you'll die. With a plane, you'll die.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons that's holding me back from buying a plane.
A plane you have to have. I know the cars have periodic maintenance, but it's up to you.
Yeah.
Now, for aircraft, it's usually up to the regulator. Because you'll die.
Of course, man.
If you try it, this can give me another few hundred cycles. Bro, you'll crash. People have died because of this kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I see that all the time on the news.
But bro, you have 25K?
Well,
let me hold some, man. Come on, man.
We can.
Let me leave here some tennis shoes or something, man.
There's a couple of things probably that we can move around. I mean, because the good thing with a plane is that a plane holds value. So even if you put this 25K in it, it's not like a car where you're buying a car and then it's going to depreciate over the next, whenever you're selling it, you're losing your money. So a plane will hold value, and you probably sell it at, I'm not going to own that plane forever with those guys, probably 3 years or 2 years.
Plus you could lease it to a school as well.
Yeah.
A reputable flight school. I won't shaft you in terms of like the maintenance program.
Yeah.
And then you use it when you want to use it. And then in the meantime, it's making money for you. And in the context of Canada, where the ethical standards are a bit higher, it could probably work really well. In Kenya, of course, people have tried that, and just corruption and people trying to
fleece you,
literally robbing you of your own aircraft.
Yeah.
But this component was new. It was old. That time maybe they sold it and they swapped it. So, but in a territory like Canada, man, I had the privilege of visiting there. I loved Canada, man. You like it? Apart from the cold.
I don't mind the cold. So when I went there, I didn't like the cold. I just didn't mind it. Now I do love the cold. I say that I'm going to find a way to love all seasons, because I realize many people would hate the cold and love the summer, the spring, and the fall. I said I'm going to love all the seasons. And the reason is most people dislike the cold, and the cold takes, a big chunk of the year. We have like proper cold from January to about March. But from November to June, literally, it's going to be some sort of chilly, somewhere between 15 degrees to minus 40 degrees in Toronto at least. And so
minus 40. What are you doing in minus 40? What do you do on a minus 40 day?
Oh, on minus 40, that's one of the best days to go out with, when the powder is like powdery. So when the snow is powdery, you can go out and have a good ski on such a day.
Apparently, during such days, I can remember reading or hearing somewhere that a lot more ambulances work overtime because people are falling.
Yeah, so when snow falls, so snow will fall over the week. Let's say it falls over the weekend, and then they are gonna clear out the snow. When the snow falls powdery on the ground, it's okay. But after a while, it will become icy. So let's say that it thawed a little bit and then froze again. So once it's frozen, it's very slippery, and folks are gonna fall and break a couple of things. Yeah.
But how adaptable are you? Because you seem to have settled in so well in Canada. From the little conversations we've had, I've not had you grumble about anything. So is that a mindset thing, or?
Oh man, you gotta enjoy life, I think, because if you are not enjoying you're not rehearsing this life to live this life again another time. And so one of the things I did is to get to try ski, and I was actually aiming to ski for Team Kenya, so cross country ski. I went to do downhill skiing for Team Kenya. And then I went, one day I was sitting on my phone, or was it on either my phone or some newspaper or something. I was on Daily Nation, the website. And then I see this guy training for the Olympics in 2030, which is when I went to ski for Kenya too. And he's training for the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. And I'm like, this guy, so he's 14 right now. He's a Kenyan, he's a white kid. So Kenyan probably lives somewhere in the flashy suburbs or whatever. And he's training in the French Alps. The Winter Olympics in that year are going to be in the French Alps. I said, you know what? I can't compete.
That's different.
I wouldn't qualify for Team Kenya. Initially, I was like, nobody's going to be doing this in Team Kenya. Yeah. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be representing Kenya. And so I decided I'm going to try cross-country skiing. Cross-country skiing is more endurance, so you move across the snow.
Have you started?
Yeah, I started 2 years ago. So 2 seasons ago, I started training for it. I haven't been in a competition yet. So once I'm in a competition, then I probably would prepare for start with the elimination levels or whatever.
You're an interesting guy, man. That's I like the you dare to try. That's really cool. I respect that a lot. And a common thing, you hear people. I have some friends in Canada as well, and they always complain about how they get lonely. Of course, maybe you don't have your family, like your wider family around. You don't have your friends back home. How did you adapt to that? Like, how is that something you navigate?
I would be the wrong person to ask that. I have lots of family there. I have a couple of cousins, aunties, and uncles.
How did that happen? How was that?
So they were there before I went there. And then others have joined later. They either come for school or whatever, and then they end up staying. Because Canada has a pathway. Once you come for school, you're able to work your way towards becoming, a citizen or a PR or whatever you want to be. And so since I have all this family, they help me stabilize. But I also I'm a church guy. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. We're making jokes about ST. So I'm very religious, and at the same time, I'm very scientific. So I call myself a Christian scientist. I debunk a lot of Christian myths with science, and there's a lot of Christianity that I question because it doesn't go in tandem with science, but I feel like Christianity makes a lot of sense for me when I put science in there.
So how do you deal with because that's something I also struggle with, how do you deal with the cognitive dissonance of the scripture or the word or the doctrine says this, but science is clearly saying this, and you find yourself maybe still leaning on the Christian, almost like a blanket that's comfortable because maybe the truth is too daunting. How do you reconcile those things?
I would accept. I think it's hard to reconcile, but I lean on this fact. When I read the Bible, it is a story that was written to point toward the salvation of man. So there are things in the Bible that would be nice to know, how what they mean, but whether I know their meaning or not really doesn't matter for me. What matters is this book was written to point me towards the path for salvation. So for instance, I'll give you one of the questions that I used to ask myself, why are there no canvas featuring? I'm using canvas here because I'm rapping you. So why are there no canvas featuring in this story? I mean, why are there no Indian Americans, like the natives featuring here? Why are there no Kisi folk featuring here? And then it's only a story of this tribe that goes through all this, shenanigans and, fighting with everybody who's in their home, so the Amalekites and whatever, and all these folks. And at the end of the day, they seem to be victorious, and it's like they are favored. And then it boils down to the fact that Jesus is going to be born in this tribe, in this community. And so for that reason, that is where the Bible talks about them. So if Jesus is going to be born in the Kamba community, maybe the Bible will change gears and we're only talking about the Shimba Hills. Shimba Hills are in Kamba?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Shimba Hills and maybe the Mount Sinai will be the
Shimba
Hills.
Hills at coast. Maybe you're talking about Mua Hills.
Yeah, Mua Hills. Yeah, in Machakos, up on the Gethsemane would have been in Machakos, and then the whole story changes. And maybe then the Black Jesus narrative fits in better because right now it doesn't.
So what? Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
So what is then your answer to that? Because as David, all these guys were navigating, what was Okoth doing?
Yeah, he just didn't feature anywhere because
So was he affected by the happenings of Jerusalem as he was trading honey in wherever?
So the effect there was that Jesus came and died for everybody, because when Jesus comes, he tells the Jews, hey, this thing is not for you only. It is for all these guys you're calling Gentiles.
But some guys were, so you're telling me obliviously in Mua Hill, some guy just rolling tobacco. All of a sudden he just felt the effect, like, someone has died for us.
Did he feel it? He probably didn't. So what the Bible says is, if you know that Jesus is the Son of God, if you know that Jesus is the Son of God and you believe in him, you'll be saved.
So those guys didn't know Jesus?
So they have some truth. So the Bible also says that if you live according to the truth that you know, you're fine. So you have some level of truth. So you believe in Ngai is what you guys worship?
For Kambas, it's what? Not Ngai is Kikuyu. I can't remember for Kambas, but Masai, I think it's Nyasai. No, it's Nyasai.
Nyasai is Luo.
And Kai, there's anyway, but...
So you believe in that truth that you are exposed to. So you believe in Nyasai, for example, the Luo, and you're worshiping that snake. I don't know if they were worshiping Omweri as their god. You're worshiping that guy truthfully, and you are believing, the truth that you have up to that level, you're fine.
So what about there's only one way but through me?
Well, not everybody's gonna know about Jesus, but Jesus comes to save the entire world. And so, if you haven't been exposed to Jesus yet, then you are okay if you're living according to your truth. But if you're exposed to Jesus and then your question is met, then maybe hapo kuna shida kidogo.
So there's a guy who's a random cannibal in the Amazon who believes wholeheartedly.
The guy
and because he believes, he's going to heaven.
The guy is fine with his cannibalism. That's the truth that he was told.
So because on the strength of that, he's saved.
He's saved.
Don't you see a problem with that?
There's a great problem with that, and I can't reconcile everything. I've chosen to reconcile my truth with the truth I was exposed to. Granted, if I was born as a cannibal in the Amazon, I would be a very serious cannibal. Probably right now I'd be looking at what to chop off your body.
but also,
yeah,
I've simplified it this way, and now I've taken it a step further because I'm 35. You're 35. 35, you'll have a bit of life under your belt where you can compare. A season of like this. So I find that my life just tends to be better when I'm in a state of belief in God.
Yeah.
Now, because my brain won't let it go, what I'm trying to understand is this: is my life better because of the real thing that I'm believing, or is there some subtle guilt of having atheistic ideas and questioning that makes me self-sabotage? So I don't know if it's a real thing for when I state of belief, it's because God is now with me. Or is it in my mind? Because remember, a lot of us come to faith through indoctrination, whether we admit it or not.
True.
You're a kid. That's all Let's go to church. The people you look up to the most, your parents, your elder siblings, are all following this path. By the time you're coming of age, the software has been downloaded. Now, removing that software is very difficult. So that's why a lot of times even people who are certain that there is no God in the conventional religious way are unable to walk away because that indoctrination is heavy, man. But I move between, man. I move between. Like, I'm not atheist, but questioning the religious story.
You got to question it, and I feel like if you are a Christian and you haven't gotten yet to a level where you are questioning, then you still have some way to go. You got to have some doubt, and I think that doubt makes you a mature Christian. And if that doubt is going to lead you away from believing in God, so be it. But you need to walk that path, and I think that's how you realize your true self.
What would you say for like a Pastor Nganga? Because I have my thoughts. I think
Pastor Nganga is in business.
Yeah, I think and I think he sleeps so soundly.
I was hanging out with a guy today. So recently, Pastor Nganga slapped someone, right? You
that original slap or another one? He slapped another person. There's that famous one.
There was only one I know. So it's the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I was told that guy is an actor. The slappee.
Yeah.
The slappee is a paid actor.
Yeah.
And I said this guy is a genius in his business because he creates the, when you think about it, how did that clip become viral? Maybe he probably shared it.
Yeah.
And he knows that he's going to create some sort of tension around it, and that's what he thrives on. And so I feel like he's doing very good business.
But you see, the genius thing, I'll use your word about Pastor Nganga, is he's done something that most human beings are unable to do, where you accept to yourself, okay, I am a person purporting to present God in this way, but I know I'm false. Me, I know. When I'm looking in the mirror, I know. Sijifani.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors, can you imagine when they're rehearsing? Sasa mato, mimi nitakuja nitakupiga bare. You can imagine being a fly on the wall in those conversations.
Yeah.
Like, these are all guys who've accepted what they're doing. I like to use Lovi as an example. Lovi strikes me as someone who also understands what he's doing.
Yeah.
Fundamentally. And he pushes the boundaries. You know Lovi?
Yeah, I know Lovi. Pastor Lovi.
Yeah, Lovi will say...
Put up a picture of Lovi. And this guy was a believer in Lovi for a while.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovi will say, when I was in heaven, God showed me. And everyone's just like, whoa, this guy was in heaven, man. Wow. Let me hang on to every word.
Yeah.
Can you imagine in his close quarters at home? He probably likes that joint. He's like, man.
They bought that hook, line, and sinker.
So, but that yearning to know who we are, what we are, where we come from, the origin of this whole thing is the most susceptible thing of a human for manipulation, because everyone wants to know what the hell is going on. Do you ever stop and be conscious enough to ask yourself, what the is going? What is this?
I do ask myself that.
What are we like?
One day I was driving. My grandfather lives in Minnesota, and so I was driving to Minnesota, seeing from Toronto. It's about maybe it's 19-hour drive or 14 or something. So anyway, I'm driving through the state of there's a very strange state. You pass a very small part of it. Let's put up a map of this. Let's put up a Google Map trip from Toronto to Minneapolis, and let's go south through the city of Chicago. So there's the state that's right next to it that is not coming to mind, but you guys can see it. So I'm driving through that state, Indiana. So I'm driving through Indiana, and then I'm like, in this car, I'm by myself. So this car, I turn around the earth into a globe, like that is on the side. And so I have myself going across, held by the force of gravity to the ground. And I'm just imagining, so I'm like a small insect that is just crawling across the state, the interstate.
Bacteria almost, if you scale it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or even, something smaller than bacteria, whatever I can think of. The virus is probably smaller. But anyways, I'm driving across. I'm like, man, I'm so tiny like this. So what is going on here? There's all these other things around me, and what's going on. And when you think about that, I think you realize that you are not the center of anything. The way we believe that humans are the center of everything on this earth, or in the universe.
And you see, religion tries to force us down the path of we are the most important thing. We're so special. Right? Now, you're a scientist.
Yeah.
In fact, you've probably used some of these instruments more than I have, or even will ever. Microscope, for example. If there was a ball here, if you were to go down to the granular, the kind of ecosystem that's existing on that ball bacterially.
It's a whole world by itself.
Yeah. So how different is this from what's going on here? Maybe on some scale, those guys are podcasting also there.
Yeah.
But some of these existential questions, I of late have been leaning more to the simulation theory. Because of its plausibility. It's just so plausible.
What are the simulation theories?
So the simulation theory espouses that you used to game. Have you ever gamed? Ever been a gamer? Now think about a game, the first video game. This was in like let's call it 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Where it was that thing called Pong with a line and it's a ball bouncing, and then you break these bricks. You catch them, ding,
yeah.
Ding, ding. Add another 20 years, we have Mario. Of course, everyone knows Super Mario. Put Mario on the screen. Add another 10, 15 years, you have FIFA, GTA. Think about GTA. You played Grand Theft Auto. Think about GTA today.
Yeah.
In fact, yesterday I was seeing on TikTok some of the graphics, how they've been able to make water look so real.
Yeah.
So that's a span of about 40 years. We've moved from Pong to GTA.
And I would even take it a step further. Think about you in a VR set with, playing GTA. Now you have something that resembles a gun and you're walking around.
And that's now 2025. So what about the year 2416? What is the GTA there? How is that not indistinguishable from real life? If in 40 years, unless technology has a ceiling, let's assume technology continues to advance. What does the year 2416 GTA look like?
I think you're sleeping in your bed and you have something on your face.
So the theory espouses that we are already that version, so much so that we're even creating simulations within hours. And
so what you're saying here is that the original simulator is
the guy who's simulating us is just a more advanced version of us. The same way when you're playing GTA, that guy doesn't know you exist.
Yeah.
But you're way more advanced than him. But you've replicated a world that's similar to yours. And then now, I think at some point, and I think even religion tries to capture this, they throw in, what if we made these things autonomous? You see a video game you're controlling. I think us guys have been given the autonomous software. So now they're just watching. Higher, look at what these guys are doing. Look at higher governments. What? They're farming. What the hell is going on? So I think for me, that's a lot more plausible than a talking snake, for example, or some of the biblical stories. try and poke holes in the simulation theory, for example. I've just said 400 years. We've talked about 40. I've given an example of 400 years. It's unimaginable.
Yeah.
Now, what about 4,000 years? What about 1,000,000 years? What is the version? It's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's incomprehensible. And when I think about artificial intelligence right now and the direction in which it's taking, and I think about general artificial intelligence, which is whereby an artificial intelligence is able to create an artificial intelligence version of itself. I think we get to a level of autonomy where it becomes incomprehensible for us to see what that is like. But the way that I look at whatever you call a simulation, so I'm going to say God is the master simulator here. He probably has a roadmap of where this whole thing is going. The only thing that he's left the players here, the humans, to have this sort of level of autonomy. And I think at some point it's going to end it all so that we can all live peacefully. But then again, I decide not to burden myself with
Of
that.
course, you can go crazy.
And burden myself with, treating humans and, finding those sort of solutions and enriching myself in this life. Because the moment you start thinking about that, I feel like you can, you would even see that or believe that you have no reason of being here or of living.
What I always tell people, because I share this freely with whenever I go for dinner.
Yeah.
My feet are well planted in reality. The reality of the day to day.
Yeah.
The reality of tomorrow. Actually tomorrow I'm reporting at 5 a.m. I'm well aware that I have to wake up in good time, report to work,
Yeah.
so I can earn my keep and continue my lifestyle. I'm able to go through the thought experiment, but also live in reality.
Yeah.
I think where people sometimes make a mistake is you live in the thought experiment and
Too long.
you can borderline on crazy, and then you just become a conspiratorial bum, for lack of a better word. So you're well versed on things, but you don't have any resources, so no one respects you. Society is just like that.
Yeah.
The more resources you tend to have, or the more organized you seem to play this game, the reality game, the more respect you tend to get. So by the time I was 19, because I was going down that path, existential crisis, also when you go that path of understanding that the world is also run by, there are things that have happened to us that were pre-planned for us way before we even existed. School system, how governments lord over us, the kind of resources we actually have access to. Can you really be a billionaire dollar, or is that such an idea? Does the system allow you to be a billionaire, or do they just allow a certain number of people? Some of these things are pre-planned for us. But you see, if you think like that, if you live in that truth, you can feel too small, and small to the point you can actually get depressed.
Yeah.
So you have to be conscious enough to play the game as it's created also. Yeah. That's why you work, and that's why I work. That's why we do conventional things, because that's just part of the game. But you can go with your mind. You can allow yourself to go.
At some point, you were 19 years old, like you said.
Yeah.
I want to rewind this a little bit, and so with all this, the ability to comprehend everything you've said, I think, must be rooted somewhere. And I want to rewind way back so that I can understand this picture. I can understand a picture that is painted in front of me from when it was an empty canvas. And the way I want to look at this is, since you're a pilot, I want to use the example of a passenger boarding a plane and taking off and flying off to whatever destination. So I'm gonna say boarding here in your case is your early life, or whatever prepares you before you check into life.
Passenger 51216, Eric Mutiso, we are calling for boarding. Literally.
You enter the stage. So you enter the stage. Are you born in Nairobi?
Yes, I'm born in Nairobi.
Okay.
But the origin of this kind of thought process is as simple as the access to information. Hashtag internet. Hashtag home internet.
Yeah.
Hashtag high speed home internet. Hashtag guy who just finished O-level with a laptop with high speed internet.
Yeah.
Trying to find out what the world is really about.
So that's where you board the world.
And this at the age of 19. So went down all manner of rabbit hole. Like, what? You mean money? The money system is not real? You mean money is not backed by gold? You mean the financial system is rigged? You mean the Fed Reserve is only fed in
How are you accessing all this information? If you're 35 now and that 19, that's like 16 years ago.
2009. It was just the advent of home internet. Like,
yeah, so 2009, I had access to the internet, but it wasn't home internet. It was school internet. I was in uni then. But I'm not sure I utilized my internet very well. But so what keeps your interest such that you want to go down these different rabbit holes? I think the biggest conspiracy theory I ever came across was an image of, find an image of the guys landing on the moon, and let's have a flag that is not flying, or a flag that is flying with the wind or something like that.
Yeah, and it's a vacuum.
Yeah. And so that's the conspiracy theory that I'm watching in 2009, and maybe a couple of stupid videos in school. So what keeps your interest that you decide to, you know what, I'm going to go down this scientific rabbit hole where people don't normally go, especially people who've been indoctrinated like you
So
and I.
I think I already have, because I'm a naturally curious person. And every time I'd ask questions in church, I felt like I was always being funneled one specific way.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to find out who was, if it was Adam and Eve, where did all those other people that are being mentioned come from? Who are they? What about the book of Enoch? You know, like I was always curious, but no one had the answers.
Yeah.
So in comes a thing where I can type in a question and it'll present me the potential answer. I went ham, bro. I went ham. And I think conventionally what would be referred to in today's world as the algorithm presents you with more and more of what you want to know. So by the time I was 20, you guys knew 9/11 was an inside job, you know, like, and of course these are not things that are spoken, especially in that era, about 2010. No one was talking about that. Okay, this side of the world, of course, West are always ahead. No one was talking like that. So I remember going to my dad and asking, Dad, is these cabals we hear of, Illuminati, the occult, are they real? He's like, yeah, they're real. I'm like, then why isn't anyone talking about it? I'm like, are you preaching cowardice? Like, no, these things have existed, we've always known. But so for me, that idea that, wait a minute, so we've kubalied that we are controlled.
And we are okay, we are being controlled.
Predetermined. It was a crisis point for me. I think I didn't have the maturity yet to understand fundamentally that system is so tight. You cannot, I'm not Andrew Tate, you cannot fight a system like that as a 20-year-old Kenyan guy. So that took time, So I went, and I still go through that existential crisis. It's also now I'm older, I'm wiser. I understand that tomorrow, like I said, 5 a.m., even as I'm going through it, I have to report to work, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Before I was like, I just wanted to live in my God, what's happening,
So what do you think this does to the 1 year, 2 year old Eric, the 15-year-old Eric? What do you think that Eric would have done differently if he knew this information that the 19-year-old Eric knew?
Maybe I'd be an astronaut, not a pilot. Because why is the piloting thing the one that was in my purview? It's intentional.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a professor. Think about, let's go back to your same age. Let's go back to Primo High School. What do you want to be? I want to be a doctor. Me, I want to be a pilot. Me, I want to be an engineer. Why is this? These are the things that were floating
What
around.
did you want to be? What was the common answer then?
Pilot? So I always wanted to be a pilot.
Okay.
Because to me, it was the coolest thing. But still, why were these the things that were within our purview?
Yeah.
Why was no one talking astronaut? Why was no one talking, I want to own the biggest computer software company? But it's intentional. It's certainly intentional.
It's what we were told.
Yeah. It was what was intentional in the purview. But they had insurance billboards of a son, a kid wearing pilot uniform looking so aspirational. That was the picture that was given to us as, these are for you guys. Yeah.
There's something else for other guys.
Yes.
I've recently finished reading Chris Hadfield. The Commander Chris Hadfield, by any chance? He's a Canadian astronaut.
Yes.
So the guy, he knew from when he was a kid that he wanted to be an astronaut, and he went into flight school, and so he went to the army
The Air
and,
Force,
and the Air Force, the Canadian Air Force, and eventually made it to become an astronaut with NASA. Interesting point here. The Canadian government has spent $1 million to make me who I am today. The Canadian government equally spent $1 million to make Chris Hadfield who he was when he was going to NASA. And I think that is something really cool that governments across the world should probably adopt. Investing in their people so that they can uplift the society, if I could put it that way.
They spend $1 million on you to become a professor?
Yeah, to become a scientist, not a professor. So in research and in training and stuff like that, buying machines for me to do my experiments. And
Are you like on the spectrum? Not like autism or anything. Like, are you like a genius, borderline kind of thing?
No, man. You look at my transcript, my high school, my uni transcripts, they're nowhere near genius level.
But it's because of what you are interfacing with, bro. You are. For you to blossom to how you've become, Canada was a must.
Well, I think so too.
Yeah, because, bro, if sometimes people ask me about high school, I'm like, I wasn't bothered with high school because it was just uninspiring.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing inspiring about high school. I mean, what is this malarkey we're being taught? What of that today do you use? Apart from basic math. In fact, we probably use more primary school math.
Mm-hmm. Basic algebra.
Basic math as opposed to like add for like in my context, addition, subtraction, division.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not using it.
Do you use the string that we used to measure? Do you ever do that? Did you do that system of education where you use a string to measure the distance between? I don't know.
GHC.
Yeah.
But, bro, our education system was funneling all of us a certain way, and that's intentional. And I was asking someone the other day, you hear about these royal families, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just ask you, I don't think I have the aptitude to fly a fighter jet. I'm a pilot. I can fly a Q400. I can fly a Boeing. Yeah, but I respect military equipment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different level, right?
Even the ones that we have in Kenya. I mean,
an F5 is very old equipment. Maybe now I could fly, but at the peak of its powers, contextually, probably I wouldn't have been able to fly it
because
it's advanced. It's a certain aptitude that's required,
and you couldn't advance to that level. You think?
The reason I'm saying this, and I'm bringing the point home, is why is it almost across the board, all royal families, they've served at the highest level, like Air Force and Prince Harry, Prince William flew fighter jets, squadron commander.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it's because they are...
To be a squadron commander is a very serious role. Mm-hmm. But these guys, when us guys were doing landing maths, I don't think they were doing landing maths. The education that was bestowed on them from when they were in their formative years all the way to... These guys are not doing normal exams.
But didn't you go to school with Uhuru? I mean, maybe not at the same time, but...
I was in St. Mary's. There's nothing so special about St. Mary's.
Okay, but Uhuru went to the same school, though.
But I think a guy like Uhuru probably had a personal tutor. Think about his Swahili.
Okay.
Think about how eloquent he is in Kikuyu English Swahili. Is that normal?
I'm thinking about it now.
Think about your best Swahili from the exposure you had in school. I was in Saints. If let's say I was the top student, there's no way I can articulate myself in Swahili the way Uhuru can. I think these guys behind the scenes were being tutored as well.
Okay.
School was just for the...
To move ahead, it was like daycare.
Yeah, it was literally... Bro, I think they have access to a different kind of... And of course it builds their mentality differently because their world ends up so different. And I always say the middle class, the biggest mistake we make is that we think we are closer to the elite.
Yeah.
Yet we're probably 6 months away from homelessness, man.
There's a line that I heard it somewhere. I don't remember where. It's probably from Neil deGrasse, and or maybe not him, but anyway, it goes like, it's dangerous to know a lot, but not know enough to know that you don't know it all.
Yes, that's why we have flat earthers.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't... And they're not just enough to justify the flat earth, but not enough to realize that they are off.
Mm-hmm. So going back to, what we're talking about, the purview of what you had access to, and the fact that that whatever was accessible to you is the fact that you, do you think that you only had that purview because you were not born into a royal family? Do you think that if you are, say, in a country like in Britain or in Canada, your purview would have been wider and you would have wanted to do more?
Certainly. Certainly.
So then, by extension, if you were in Britain,
Case in point, let me use an example of real life. Let's not be far-fetched.
yeah,
Bro, I do a podcast. You do a podcast. How many people do you know who do podcasts?
well, quite a number. I mean, do you mean like personally?
No, like in our, let's use a Kenyan context.
Like,
How many people have dared to do a podcast?
There's quite a number. I mean, in Africa, there's the Three Men Army and a
But
couple others.
percentage-wise,
Oh, it's a very small percentage.
it's a very small person
Probably.
who can dare to even try. Yeah,
They will try. Kibe says if you go past the first five episodes,
you're in the game. Yeah. How many people have podcasts in their head that they want to start?
a good number.
Bro, it's probably in the millions, the hundreds of thousands. Everyone thinks they can do this.
Even right now, there's someone listening to us or probably heard what we said when we started off, and they say,
I'm gonna start a podcast. So that's just one example of I'm a pilot. It's a corporate job, bro.
Yeah.
Super corporate. So when I started my podcast, I just joined the airline I work for, and it was like, what the fuck? Because, bro, culturally, that's not what we do. You're a corporate guy, you come and fly, you wear uniform, and you go home. Here I am at work, very professional, very respectful.
Let's put up a picture of a pilot, what we call the highest echelons of captainism with their,
their epaulets, their bars.
the 4 bars and stuff.
Here I am at work, bro. I'm a very respectful guy, articulate. I know my stuff. But on the flip side, I'm at home talking fuck on a camera, like you guys talking about, because I've understood that there's a duality to existence.
Don't you ever get flack from your employer though when you use all these languages and stuff?
But what you see, culturally, they would feel like they can say something. But what are you telling me? How is that affecting how I carry myself at work? If at work I'm dropping F-bombs and acting a certain way, for certainly you can come and put me to task. I did an appraisal yesterday at work, and my appraisal was top because at work I present myself the pilot way, but at home in my private quarters, I'm just showing you me. I'm just being real with myself. All of you guys talk like this. Me, I have the courage enough to present it on camera.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, most people are held hostage by society. Yeah. How many people say?
I'm even gonna bleep that off so you can see that I'm still held.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're scared. Oh my God, my platform. How can you say? No?
Yeah.
But how many people actually say?
In private, actually, maybe more than.
So am I saying to my colleagues?
No.
Am I saying to my passengers?
No.
But in the context of this podcast, I don't even cuss a lot. I was just trying to present a
scenario.
But I think you can communicate better using language than foul language. That's my own principle.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to expound on a point. The conventional society, anything for the most part middle class and lower, are victims of a system that subdues you and makes you conform. That's a fact. People conform. We're all conforming. We don't
want to be different from the status quo.
How dare you be different? How dare you? You can have stimuli. Yani, this guy is a fake pastor. Why you're healing? Why don't you start with the hospitals? Why are you healing in this thing where we're donating cash?
Yeah.
So you go heal at the church.
Yeah.
I mean at the hospital. Like, why aren't you spending day in, day out? Patients are coming, you're just healing. No, but let's have a but you see that human beings will know that with their brains, but not have the courage
to speak up,
to question it. It's something that I can't understand.
They could question it in the keyboards.
Yes.
But beyond the keyboard, it becomes just that.
I saw Rima. I also feel like there's a circumstantial thing with availability of resources and faith. That's why you have more churches per capita in Kibera than anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's an. Of course, we all want better for our lives. When my fortunes weren't great, because I've had ups and downs, I struggled with addiction. At some point, I was that broke. I leaned on God, and at some point, I was ready to hear any culpable you could give me through Jesus speak, so to speak. I was willing to take it. I went for Rema Fest, and I was just waiting for it's a revival.
Rema Fest is
like
a festival for Christians.
Yeah, big one in Kenya that happens. All these big pastors that are Joshua Selman, I am seeing in the spirit that I am imparting on. It feels very nice, you know. If you're working at,
Do you think you'd make a good pastor if you were to be
that
one?
was my plan. If I didn't get sobriety this last time, about 4.5 years ago, if I didn't figure sobriety out, and let's say right now is when I was starting, because right now, if I was starting my airline career now, I'd be already a bit behind. So if that didn't work out, bro, that was my next step. I was going to be those guys I was going to be a pastor, but now a conscious pastor, like knowing that I'm BSing, understanding that I'm BSing.
I think they all understand that whoever does the BSing.
I think some have an existential crisis where they're not sure if they're BSing or not. Because they also
think so? Like the ones who let's take an example of the pastor. I don't know. I forgot his name. The guy who took potassium permanganate and he would apply it on people, and then he would wash them. He would wash them.
Kanyari.
Kanyari, yeah. So he'd wash them, and then the water becomes red, and he says he's washed your sins away or something like that.
Kanyari is same. Put him in the same boat as Nganga in terms of awareness. I told him, have you seen snippets of his sermons? He lectures his guys, hey, bana, you guys you're not donating, bana. It's how? I'm doing pesa, bana. Me and Kapa do pesa. He even talks about the car, the monthly he's paying on his car. It's like, if you guys don't give me enough, I can't pay for the
Range Rover.
For the LX. Like, what's up with you guys?
Yeah.
And that's how subdued the human mind can be, that you're still giving. You're there and you're still giving.
And you probably don't even have enough.
Shakahola happened.
Very sad.
Guys took their own lives because they want to listen to this guy who's telling them they're going to paradise. Now,
do you think that guy believed? Is those guys who believe in what they are, like they are in existential crisis?
Of course they believe.
They believe in.
You see, for them, there's also poverty attached.
No, but the pastor guy, when he tells them this, you think he doesn't believe?
No, he doesn't believe.
But he's killing people, though. What is that? I mean, does that make you? So if you're at that level,
you're going to Canada. Me, I'm stuck in Kenya. So Shakahola, if we were to explore what I think was going on there, bro, I don't want to die, man. I'm still aware that Gava is here. I'm still a small person in society. I can be disappeared. I can be injured. But, bro, there was so much organ harvesting. There was so much going on there, bro. You keep getting snippets.
Believe that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But I mean, but this guy is already dehydrated beyond. I mean, he died. Or you think, well, they had dehydrated and then they die, from hunger or whatever. And then you harvest the organs then, or were they healthy? They were taken and taken to the side, and then
I think there's so much that was happening there that if the story was to come out, because why hasn't the story come out? Maybe
there's no story.
So
maybe the story is as simple as the guy duped them, they believed him, and they starved to death.
I don't think that. I don't think so.
You don't buy that?
I don't buy that. There's been too many smoke signals around the organs thing, of course. But I think the people who are being implicated, at the highest level. The same way we don't know Epstein, bro, power protects itself. Powerful people who are caught with their hand in the cookie jar will do anything to make that cookie jar look like it never existed because they have the power. If someone as high as that level is implicated in some of these things, bro, I have the power to make a story not come out. They have the power, they have the resources. So, bro, Shakahola... Although I think that's all I'll say about Shakahola, because
I still don't buy your version of the story, though, because it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, the simpler story always makes sense, and for me, the simpler story here is the guy told them this will work and you're going to paradise, and so let's go to paradise and starve your children to death, because I don't know what you're harvesting from a kid who's 12 years old, 5 years old.
Are your organs completely useless if you die of starvation?
Well, if you're dying of starvation, your organs have shut down. And if they shut down, then you're gone. I mean, when they're getting an organ from you. So what I do is I part of my research is creating organs for transplant.
Creating?
Yes. And so...
what do you mean by create?
So the field of tissue engineering or regenerative medicine, so we basically would harvest cells from your part of your body, or for example, your bicep cells. We'll engineer them to stemness, so turn them into stem cells. That's why I have this over here, Stem Cell Club. And so with those stem cells, we're able to engineer some organs for your body. So stem cells are cells that will eventually differentiate into a certain final cell type. So for instance, your bone cells, your osteoblasts and osteoclasts will differentiate from these stem cells, and then we will grow bone for you.
Why is there a moral conundrum around that, yet it sounds like something so positive?
So the moral conundrum is around things like CRISPR technology, whereby you are trying to create, super babies or designer babies, stuff like that.
But why not?
When then you, ethically, I think you become a god.
So what? This is just for purpose of conversation. I'm just trying to understand. So what? Because what you've described sounds like it saves lives.
Yeah. So I think there's no moral conundrum around creating organs. So right now we can create bone, skin, a cornea of the eye, and right now we're trying to do bone marrow, but we haven't achieved thick organs yet. So organs like the heart, the liver, and stuff like that, we haven't achieved that yet.
Is that on the cards soon?
So we have a couple of years to go before we get to a functional heart. Maybe we can create some functional heart tissue like heart valves, and we could probably create, part of a liver or something like that.
What's the limitation?
The limitation is blood supply right now. So you see, all the cells in your body are within 100 microns of a blood vessel. And so finding a way of creating such an intricate network of blood vessels is difficult. So my research right now actually is focusing on creating organs to the arterial level. We still haven't figured out a way of getting to the micro level, so the blood capillary level. But what we can do is we can create the arterial level, and then we can induce conditions that will cause the blood vessels to sprout themselves in a process we call angiogenesis.
And because you're in Canada, that's first world. So this is a consensus at the highest level. China are not ahead, or America not ahead,
no. So nobody's ahead. I mean, they would have published that information in some journals. Everybody is fighting for some level of prestige at this scientific level. And so once you find something, you want to put it out there. But also the way science works is we all collaborate across the globe. And so if I find something that works for me, I'll put it out there, and then another scientist will use that thing to create something better. And
also, there's no competitive. There are no competitive factions across border like China, America, Russia. It's universal.
So I would say, you see, like the way the cosmonauts is what they call themselves, and the astronauts from America, they were working together to get Roscosmos working, and the International Space Station, whatever, working. So so that is the kind of, I'd say, collaboration that goes on in the scientific world. We all want to advance together. While some folks, of course, there has to be some mad scientist somewhere who's experimenting with all these sort of things that are ethically wrong.
Kim Jong's guys.
I would imagine, maybe even in America itself.
What about clones? Tell me about clones.
What about them?
They cloned a goat.
They cloned Dolly the sheep. Put up a picture of Dolly the sheep. That was back in the 90s.
Why can't they clone people by now? Complete novice. I have no idea.
I think it is possible to clone people, but it's ethically wrong. I think there's a mad scientist somewhere doing that.
No, I don't think it's a mad scientist. Sorry, I like to wear my conspiracy hat. I think it's a controlled group of guys probably just trying to see what this is about.
Controlled group of guys who are still mad scientists. It will not be up. There's no ethical body.
Mad, you mean fringe? Like on the fringes of science?
Yes.
Or maybe it's like a military kind of what do you call
it? That would be me, becoming border conspiracy theorist.
So you're telling me the ability to clone a human being exists?
It is possible. I mean, if you clone Dolly the sheep, right now we are at a way advanced level of technology.
You're telling me, you, super intelligent guy, you're confirming yours is coming from a scientific point of view, not a theoretic. I'm just extrapolating time from Dolly to now and saying, they must be cloning. You're telling me factually, because you're a scientist, and you think that there's no faction of some military somewhere that are just dedicated to cloning. So right now you're telling me there's possibly clones who exist somewhere. I mean,
it is possible. So what's ethically wrong, but possible.
What's the ethically wrong?
Ethically wrong because then who does that person become? What are you? You become a god because you're deciding, you know what, I'm going to make another version of myself. So can you imagine?
So what?
Knowing so what do you do with Eric? So I'm sorry, I'm going to use you as an example. So let's say you imagine you've cloned another Eric. So this new Eric is younger than you. He was just born today or
Let
this
him
year or
live.
whatever.
Eric too.
So what? I mean, you could make babies.
Let them live.
by, you could make babies using your sperm and an ovum somewhere.
Okay.
And you could create babies that way.
Or
why
I can
would
do
you?
both.
Okay.
What is this moral thing that people are purporting to say it's immoral? What's the moral?
Yes, because you are essentially creating a life out of this unconventional method.
How many things are conventional, bro? Hasn't human civilization advanced through? When the first guys fashioned vessels to go across the ocean, that was not conventional, but they found stuff on the other side.
Yeah.
So what is this moral thing that you're claiming? And I'm asking the wider audience because I think that's a fake thing.
What is fake? Morality?
No, that in this specific case, the case presented that let's not do clones because I don't want to be the creator. Creating is creating.
No, because then what goes on beyond there? I mean, think about it. So I can create my own clone, but you know what? This clone is not good enough. I mean, they were born probably with some defect. They have some level of defect. So you finish them off.
No.
Right? And you see what that becomes.
No, but some of these things have to happen for you to reach the point where we're creating clones that are beneficial. Just the same way, how many people died trying to go across the ocean and they went improving ships, improving, last time, word of mouth, let's be like this. To the point now we have cruise ships where people go for recreation. That's how humanity has always moved forward, but there's always a human cost. So, but
I think this trajectory though becomes dangerous because
but I also feel your and it's brilliant to be like that because it's safer. It's a safe way to exist. You don't think there's an arm of the Chinese government, American government, Russian government, where in some far conclave somewhere they're actually cloning people?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it would have come out in some way, shape, or form. It would have come out. I mean, are these people sworn to secrecy that they can't share it with?
Probably.
With someone?
Probably.
I mean, I don't believe that.
And that's why I used the word security clearance. What are you?
So what are you creating these humans for, though? Are you creating them?
Initially,
this
just
army?
purely experimental. Initially, perfecting
So what's your end goal, though? Here,
perfecting the process.
With what end goal? So you're experimenting with the human. Though.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
okay.
There are people who probably sign off on that and they have kubalied that this is what I do. The same way Pastor Nganga is kubalied his calling guys.
Yeah.
Don't judge, and this is something I learned the hard way because I got heartbroken so many times by human beings. I would always transpose my ethics on them.
Yeah.
But they're not me. This guy could be a better person or a worse person than me.
Yeah.
So I cannot juxtaposition my moral code on someone else. There are guys who are willing to kill everybody.
Yeah.
So why would such a guy not be willing to make clones?
Possibly there are, but and that's what I'm saying. It is possible there are mad scientists who are doing that. Only that I don't like
the word mad. I think braver than us. Braver than us.
I wouldn't call that brave because then there's a case for you could fight this out. Why don't you want to fight this out in the rest of the scientific community and say this is what I want to do and these are the reasons why I want to do it?
Because a lot of conventional scientists like you will push back and say it's immoral.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, you can push back against the moral scientists who are pushing back against you, because what I fear then that happens is what goes down that you first of all, in order for you to get this perfection, you are going to be harming humans.
But bro, time immemorial, bro, we're African. We were victims of the Berlin Conference. These guys knew they were coming to harm us. Like, why is this shocking you that guys can't skizana and guys, people with power coming together to do evil things to benefit themselves? We might not understand the motive. Maybe right now I can't theorize the motive of clones, but I can certainly imagine that there are people who are willing to go down that path. And if you're saying science has reached to the point where it's possible, I am willing to bet my pilot license that it's happening. 100%.
And I do agree with you, it's happening, but under closed doors,
of course,
and not sanctioned by any government.
Of course. But remember, governments can sanction themselves to do their own things on a military level. They probably have, and what do they call it?
I mean, that's
different classifications, clearances.
Is that why you do? So you are trying to say that all the movies that we see which try to portray this, I mean, there's a bunch of movies I don't remember them in my mind right now. So they are portraying something that's actually happening.
Bro, I'm not a scientist, but and again, humanity, I think people are too busy with the rigors of life, trying to put tokens in the meter, trying to put gas in their car, trying to pay for bus fare. Dolly, 1960, something. 2025.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
There's a movie I want you to go and watch. It's called Gattaca. So Gattaca.
Man, I'm really loving this conversation. I really love where we've gone.
Yeah, man. Put up a post of Gattaca. It's a nice movie that portrays exactly what we're talking about
Recent
right now.
Or
it's old. It's like from the 90s or the early 2000s, something like that. So Gattaca, Gattaca. Those letters spell out the nucleotides in your DNA. So guanine, adenosine, tyrosine, and cytosine. And so those basically make up your DNA.
And bro, even entertainment have shown us. Those Dexter. Remember Dexter?
Yeah.
Those Mandoc. You'll always have two sides of the same kind of ability. There's Sally, who landed an aircraft in the Hudson. And there was Mohammed Atta in the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Bro, so there's you, ethical scientist, but there's someone like you with the abilities who's not ethical. Or rather, his ethics are not your ethics. He's willing to push the boundaries. So, man, for sure there's clones. In fact,
I'm not going to subscribe to supporting your theory.
I would even go as far as saying, because if I was the clone maker, and I had managed to already remove my moral misgivings about the whole thing, I would be like, as we fine tune these clones, how integratable are they? Let's see how good our product is. Abu, back that guy to work at McDonald's to one. Put that guy in an airline. Let's see, he can fly. Fuck, he's flying. He's socializing. Fuck. I don't see how that's not happening.
Though they ship that out of complications, and I guess I wouldn't be one of the people to subscribe to putting a fellow human being through that just to satisfy my scientific advancement. Granted, though, what you're saying here is we still experiment on humans. So when we get to a level of human trial, so before you can get your product approved by Health Canada and FDA, you are going to go through all these different stages. So you work in the dish, and then you take, if it's working in the dish, and you publish your work that is working properly in the dish, then you move on to animal trials. It's working in animal trials, and then you're approved for human trials if you can, pass through those stages. And it takes about 14 years for you to get anything from the dish to an actual drug or an actual biologic or...
Can I ask you a question? Because you said you're Adventist, right? So you believe in the devil, right?
I believe the devil is there.
So may I propose then a theory? What if Shakahola was just human sacrifice that was happening en masse under the guise of you guys are going to heaven?
So who was sacrificing them?
The people have proposed certain people, but I don't want to say that on here. But
I mean, why are they sacrificing them?
For power.
Okay, I see how that would be. That would probably be plausible.
So
that could be plausible.
That's
organ transplant though doesn't sound plausible.
But that's what now this second theory is one of the most touted theories around this thing, and that's why that thing went quiet.
Okay.
Because it's at the highest level of.
But what I don't believe, so while I believe in the devil, there's things I don't believe in. So for instance,
put the devil on the screen right now.
All the different versions of the devil, including Lil Nas. What is it? Lil Nas. I think there's this
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X.
I have a theory on him. So
what's your theory?
He thought it was play. Because I believe in a realm that we don't see.
Yeah.
So I think he came into this industry. I'm talented. I'm gonna mock what people think the industry is, Satan, and it's like, it's not that, bro. It's just like capitalism here, making money. I'm gay agenda. He really mocked it, and then I showed him, boss, this thing is real, man.
So do you think that's why he was walking the streets the other week? Because you think he's gone crazy, or he was just marketing gimmick?
I think at some point, because what has he sold since? Bro, right now as we speak, he's in rehab.
Oh.
He hasn't sold anything since. Initially, people were saying, it's a rollout. There's an album coming. No, there's been nothing.
So it was only like one hit and that was it?
He has a few.
Okay.
He has a few. He was big time. But I think he played with fire and they were like, bro, this is not a lighter. This is real fire. And I think there's a point where you have to play your part of the bargain, and he didn't play ball, and this is what happened, in culminating him walking the street in his underwear. This guy mocked stripping on Satan, if you watched his videos.
Yeah, I watched the video.
He put blood in some Jordans and sold them 666.
Yeah, I remember.
He thought it was fun and games, and at some point I think someone like, psst, like, bro, this shit is real. This shit is real. But sorry for cussing. So I didn't know you don't cuss. My bad.
No worries. I mean, we always have guys here cussing all the time, so it's fine. No worries.
So I can't remember what was the original line before we got to Lil Nas X. We're talking about.
We're talking about the sacrifice.
Yeah.
The sacrifice. Me saying that I think, while I believe that the devil exists, there's levels to which I don't subscribe to.
So you're selectively Adventist.
I am fully Adventist.
But doesn't it espouse a Satan like Lucifer?
Yes, it does. But you see, religion is also very cultural. So, for instance, if I'm Kisi, and one of the things that Kisi believe in is witchcraft.
What's with the Adventists and Kisi? Because all the guys
started from there. So it started from Luoland.
My colleagues in the airline I work for, a lot of the Adventists are Kisi. What's the sign?
Yeah, I know one of them. I'll tell you off the pod.
Name starts with an M?
Yeah, we're cool. We're friends.
One of the coolest guys to fly with.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So it started in a place called Gendia. So I think it came from Tanzania or Uganda, one of them, up through the lake, and so they started off in Gendia. Gendia is near Kendube. I grew up in Kendube, and then it spread to the rest of the. So Kendube is in Luoland, and then spread to the rest of the world. However, most Kisi are actually Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah, but many Adventists.
So do you not eat meat?
So Adventists do eat meat.
My colleagues don't.
They don't eat meat because the doctrine says they don't. They don't eat meat because it is healthier not to eat meat.
Because when I walked in here, I smelled some nice meat thing going on. I'm like, this guy's eating well, man. But let me ask you, man.
So what I don't subscribe to is witchcraft. You don't forget your question. So I don't believe that I'm going to be driving my car down the street and then suddenly my lights are going to go off because some witch somewhere said, you know what, psst, to the lights on my car, and then I got into an accident because the lights went off. Or I'm in some city in Nigeria, I'm driving down the street, and then suddenly the car in front of me turns into a massive boulder on the street, and then I crashed into that boulder. So I don't believe in that level of...
but you believe in a talking snake, perhaps?
I believe in a talking snake, and the same way we believe that there were dinosaurs. And some of them, the dinosaurs went extinct. So
where does the Bible capture the dinosaurs?
The Bible doesn't capture the dinosaurs actively. The same way the Bible doesn't
capture Kambas.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's a huge part to leave out of the story, man.
But I do believe dinosaurs were there.
Let's leave here. I as well.
If I put up a picture of me next to a dinosaur bone, you can find it on my Instagram.
Let's. If I'm telling the story of man. I can understand how you might not capture every man or every culture. Otherwise, the book would be like this, right? Maybe let's talk about Hebrews. I forgot the Kisses or the Kambas or the
Yeah.
But you guys, dinosaurs were like a big part of this story. Why are they being left out of?
What makes them the big part of the story?
Existentially.
But what makes dinosaurs more important than nuts?
Not more than nuts.
Yeah, nuts with a G, like GNATS. Those tiny insects like fleas.
Scale. Size.
So just because they are big?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
I don't see the motivation.
Nuts never reigned for millennia.
Yeah.
There was not a world where it was just nuts, nuts. No. But there was a world for millions of years, supposedly.
Yeah.
Millions of years where different versions of these guys existed, or these things, or rather creatures. That is different from a nut, bro. Yeah.
I don't think they bear any more weight than nuts, and that's where they were simply left out the same way.
How come you don't see nuts in museums, bro? Which movie about a nut have you watched? You've watched Jurassic Nut. Like, come on, let's also be real. Have you watched a movie about like a nut? Jurassic Park has like sequels.
Yeah.
Because dinosaurs are bro.
They are a nice story to tell, I guess. And you know, right now we're
nice
talking about them.
to tell. This one is telling the story of the whole story.
And that's why I say the Bible is the story of the salvation of man. And the dinosaurs don't play any role in man's salvation. The Bible is not a history book. I mean, I would get a lot of flack from my fellow Adventists for saying this. The Bible in the book of Timothy says that the Bible was written for all forms of instruction, so instruction, reproof, so that the man may be complete and thoroughly equipped for every good work. But at the same time, it is only written simply for the sake of my salvation. And problem with some of us as Christians is we overcomplicate the gospel. The gospel is good news. It's very simple. Jesus came, died for you, get saved. All these other things that we then enshrine around Christianity make the gospel very complicated.
Do you believe God is omnipotent?
I believe God knows everything and is everywhere. So omnipotent and omnipresent.
Omniscient as well.
Yeah.
2 questions. Why such a dramatic thing for sending his son?
Those are some of the questions that I would ask him when I hang out with him somewhere.
And that's why I say human beings, the ability for us to divorce ourselves from rationale to align with the indoctrination is just amazing. Like, all capable, let me send my son through a virgin birth to go get spread. He could have done that.
Yeah, he would have, but he just decided not to do.
So he's a dramatic guy.
I mean, in the scale of my understanding, he could be dramatic.
And then also he's all-knowing.
He's all-knowing.
So what is the purpose of the presence?
So
because he knows
here's how I would explain that. You see, my understanding is very minute compared to his understanding. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to this again, but the Canadian government has spent a lot of money on me to know all the things that I know. It's possible that they didn't have to spend all this and they probably read books and started the internet and I would have known all this. But point is, a lot of effort has been put to making you who you are right now. And if you have to fast forward this to the year 4100, like you were saying, that Eric Mutiso was born in the year 4100 is way, has way more at his fingertips to become way more advanced, even, knowledge-wise than you are. But I don't have what it takes to comprehend who God is, to understand what his omnipotence is or how he operates and how he does his thing. And if I can imagine something into existence, for example, try to think of how God knows everything or is present everywhere, my understanding is still way beneath it. It's the same way we can think of heaven as having mansions and streets of gold. I think we can't comprehend heaven with our own understanding. And what I normally say is
like honey?
I like honey.
Does everyone like honey?
No.
Land of milk and honey.
Well, the land of milk and honey, I think, was here on earth and somewhere in the Middle East.
They say 72 virgins, although that's Islam.
Those are Islams who say that. I mean,
but the kind of narratives around heaven are just sound human.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. The problem is that we use our understanding to paint a picture of heaven.
But what else do we have?
We don't have enough to go by, and that's why I guess we use what we have to paint that picture of heaven. Because what I think is, like what I tell my friends, man, you hear of planets like Jupiter, where diamond rains from the skies, rains of diamond. Diamond doesn't make sense in Jupiter. The same way gold wouldn't make sense in heaven. Me, where I need the diamond and the gold is here on earth. Give it to me. Streets of gold, give them to me here.
But I also hear of, they now say, because I think as of 2010, they had said there's about like 400 Earth-like planets. Now they're saying like 400 billion. And conventionally, what can support our kind of life in terms of the closeness to their main
Who's
star.
That the scientist that's saying that?
Yes.
Like astrophysicist?
Yes. Is it astronomist or astrophysicist?
Astrophysicist. Yeah. Could be something like that.
That to me sounds, so where does the Bible capture that? Or where does...
The Bible is written for us and the folks who live on earth and not for all those other... I do believe... So do you believe in aliens?
Believe is a strong word, but I'm inclined to lean towards their existence just based off the vastness and to remove myself or ourselves as the center. If we're saying that there's potentially 400 billion. In fact, there's a guy, I'll send you that clip. I hope you can put it on the screen without copyright. Because he puts it to scale for us to understand. So he uses marbles as a representation of each potential Earth-like planet, and goes ahead to fill the Colosseum with these marbles, just to show the scale. With the Statue of Liberty drowning in these marbles, just to show the scale. These are all potentially Earth-like planets in terms of everything that supports human life here on our Earth. They're all uninhabited, is what you choose me to believe, or are they all inhabited?
I believe that,
or at least one other is inhabited.
They are inhabited. I think that.
So are aliens? Difference between aliens and demons, or are aliens separate?
I believe aliens live in their own realm and live in our own. So so when the devil was chased out of heaven, he was brought down to earth, and this is his kingdom.
Literally, they say, God, you guys are not down to earth.
and he came down to earth. So those aliens, I think they live a perfect life, the kind of perfect life where there's no trouble that we probably want to have.
I've had the same colleague, do you want to say his name, trying to insinuate that. Is that something that's taught in Adventist doctrine?
That those planets...
like sisi no tulichoma, so we're experiencing it this way. But other guys are just chilling with the ideal sense that God had for them.
Yes, so
what's the root of that thought?
So yes, it is the root of that is in my religion.
Okay. As a scientist believer, you kind of have to split yourself, right?
Into what?
Into a factual guy and a mythical guy.
I was in Mafrika's episode.
I need to go watch that by day.
Mafrika told me,
I've really enjoyed this.
Hafikirizi ni stories za Jaba Buddha. Like all these stories in the Bible, don't you think they are just stories which are told to?
It takes, but you see, I'm telling you that that's they've done social experiments where put 5 people, 10 people in a room, and 4 start running, and everyone runs. Do that times 1 billion, and do that times a few thousand years.
Yeah,
bro, that indoctrination is here. So to think. For Mwaf to say these stories are Jabba, it means he's a very courageous human being. Yeah. To dare to even say that. I interviewed a guy called Aziz recently.
I haven't watched the episode, but I saw it.
Amazing. Him, the stakes are higher because it's Islam. It's like he's anti-Islam, he's anti-kids, he's anti-yani, and
anti-everything.
Freely, he's like, you guys, Islam, heaven has nothing for shorties. And then for us to 72 virgins. You know, like, he's being so crass and open about, but you see, because he has the courage. How many Muslims have thought about that quietly and are still just going to the mosque every day? You know, it takes courage to step outside that thought process.
And I think the world needs, all these folks. But I'm still intrigued with how, you have a very interesting journey whereby you were born into a very Christian family, and I guess you're
not very. I was born into a Christian family.
I mean, generally, if you're born into a Christian family, it's very Christian because you're going to church every couple of days.
My dad was also very liberal, and my dad has also always been frank about his journey. So we started Catholic, and at some point he's like, this is
doesn't make sense.
Like, this is some Harry Potter stuff. So I was in Consolata Primary. So first Holy Communion was a big deal. It's like,
what's that?
The time you receive your first, you're now within your rights to take Holy Communion.
Does that happen when you're baptized with water poured down your...
No, baptism is different. Baptism when you're a child, it's like now you've been washed away. The original sin is now no longer with you. You have been washed away from the original sin. So now you have a ticket.
You'll figure out with the new sins.
So now then, First Holy Communion is the first time now in the context of Catholic Church where on Sundays during Mass, you can go and receive the body and the blood of Christ through that bread they give you and the wine. So it's a big deal in that context. So all my friends are talking about this day. Me, I'm like, I keep telling my dad, they're asking for the birth certificate, Maze. Why are you not? Kumba, this guy was just dealing. He was like,
Were they going to change your... Is that why they change your name too? Or
No.
baptism name? Okay. But, okay.
Then class 6, I go for something called Hodari camp. I don't know if you've ever heard of Hodari.
No.
It's like an Opus Dei run thing.
It's like a summer camp sort of version of the
but
US.
Opus Day. And we went by train to Mombasa.
Yeah.
And at some point, it was a rosary time. Bro. Like 100 Hail Marys, 100 Our Fathers, and some weird, bro.
It's like some occult stuff.
Long story short, my dad at some point was like, so we started going to like a Baptist church. So the point I was trying to drive is that he's also living in real time.
Yeah.
He doesn't purport to like, I have the answers, So no, So that's something and that's why I move freely through my thoughts, and like there are times I'm super convicted. Jesus is king. And I'll tell like, at the virgin birth.
Where are you at right now?
I'm at the point where I really enjoy having such discussions about it, because especially with brilliant minds, not just anyone, because I like people who dare to go there, even if it's through just a thought experiment.
Yeah.
If I was to bet my life on it, I'll choose Jesus. If that's where I would hang my hat. But Jesus, forgive me for going the
other route,
curious way. I'll always talk about my curiosity. I'm not scared to.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I feel like it's the church that paints it as wrong to think or go into that direction, or the mosque that paints it that way. But for all intents and purposes, I think Jesus is okay with you to question him. So, for instance, if you went today and says, because God is so we paint God as our Father, right? Heavenly Father. So let's take your earthly father, who's your dad, and go and start questioning him and tell him, hey, Dad, you tell me that I'm Kamba. You don't think I'm Kamba. The way I look or act or, whatever, maybe I'm not Kamba. Can we dig a little? Are you Kamba yourself or something like that? Do you think your dad will be, how do you think your dad would act?
My dad is a liberal guy.
So he'd be generally okay.
Because but that's unique to my dad. The Christian guy, the wrath, guys are going to hell forever, according to God's doctrine. Because they blundered about things that...
But that's because it's taught that way.
Because they blundered about things that were put in them. Some of the discussions we had off camera. Nature. Nature. I've been to jail. I've seen guys finding ways to express sexual nature. It's coming out of them.
Yeah.
They can't help themselves. It's nature. So you go to hell because of a nature that was put in you. It's weird. So if I went to my dad and told him, my dad probably, like, us guys are Kamba in, it's people who remind me I'm Kamba. Because how much of Mutiso am I Mutiso apart from like my name? I'm Mutiso, yes.
You probably don't have any culture
and
or
I'm
anything
proudly
like
Mutiso. I like that thing for, I'm Mutiso, let's take this name far.
Yeah.
But bro,
beyond that,
do I identify with any, can I name one Kamba culture right now?
None.
I know we were long distance traders. Do I speak Kamba? No. But I'm living in my real current...
You probably don't even have a home in some Kamba suburb.
I don't.
Yeah.
But it's not my fault. I'm living my real current state of affairs.
Yeah.
Like my current state of affairs is I'm doing a podcast with you. It's not about whether I'm a Kamba, So that's how I look at it. But I want to ask you a question.
Ask me.
First of all, I've really enjoyed this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
You must come on my platform as well.
Sure.
When are you inviting me to Canada? What do I need to come and not burden you for like a trip?
What do you need to come?
Like I want to come on like a budget. I want to come with my wife like on a budget, but I also don't want to burden you, but I want you to show me like around. And I was in Canada for a month, but a month of training. So
do you want to come during the cold or during the hot season or like summer season?
Definitely summer.
Yeah,
I think
so you just need to get on a plane and come. I mean, everything else will...
Budget, for me to have a sane, what kind of budget do I need?
I mean, I will provide everything that you need, so
you
just need to get on a plane.
How do you know I'm not a Migos?
Well, I'll provide you with food. I'll provide you with food and shelter. Clothing you carry from here, so you got the basic needs covered.
Well, you can house me if I come to Canada?
Of course, man.
Show me around? Will I be lie?
For sure, man.
Takbir.
I don't know what takbir means, but...
No, because, bro, that would mean a lot. Because, again, I wouldn't want to burden you, but the way we're vibing, I'm sure there's also a lot for me to see. I want to see what you do, like, literally. Bro, if you're talking about you're working on creating organs, You're the first guy I've ever met who interfaces with anything like that. And why is it in your primo no one was talking about doing this? It took Canada to come and intervene.
Yeah, true.
For you to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You must also pay it forward to people here. Like, I hope you encourage guys from like the schools you went to that they don't have to become teachers.
I always
the
do,
conventional teacher or the normal careers that are espoused in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
That is so much cooler than what I do, for example. Pilots tuko wengi.
Well, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, though, anybody can be anything they want to be. And I think that's one of the things that Canada has taught me, and by extension, the rest of the world should teach anyone. You can be whatever you want to be if you put enough, effort into it. Then the unfortunate thing is that there's a ceiling to some extent when you were born, for instance, in Kenya. And I want to say this: the fact that I got the opportunity to be in Canada in itself is, has some level of luck to it, and that in itself has a very big role to play in me being who I am today, even being able to sit down with you today. Because most likely, probably if I didn't go to Canada, maybe I would have had this equipment sitting around, but I would have probably been selling my charcoal. I used to be a charcoal seller back in the day. I sold charcoal and potatoes and whatever I've done. I feel like I've been...
Does your wife like Canada?
Does she? I hope she does.
Does she work there as well?
She works there as well. The only difference is that I feel like I enjoy Canada more than she does. I mean, I enjoy everything more than most people do.
Because you're living in your purpose. You're not, bro. What? Like again, I'll go back to what you do. If I get such fulfillment from what I do, and I know a lot of my fulfillment comes because it's what I do. Mm-hmm. Like if I was not doing what I do, would I be as happy in life? I don't know. So I'm sure there are times you're just smiling from here to here because you're in your purpose of sorts. Maybe her, she's doing a job to earn a keep,
mm-hmm.
which are two different things.
I mean, I think she does enjoy her career, her job. But I think we're all, I was telling someone also that every summit that we were able to reach, so if you're climbing a mountain, you reach a summit, that summit becomes the base for the next mountain that you want to climb. And as humans, I think that's who we are. So for instance, I know you say that in your pod, you've said a couple of things that you'd want to do. For instance, you've said if you got, you'd like to do podcasting full time, mm-hmm. and that's all you do. But it's very possible that if you did start doing podcasting full time, then that becomes the summit, and then you start scaling the next mountain. You've said that you'd like to be a transporter. I know the transport pilot, not transport pilot, the pilot who transports planes. What do they call them?
Ferry pilot.
Yes, a ferry pilot. You want to be a ferry pilot, and you just want to do the pod while ferrying the plane.
Yes.
And it's very possible that you get to that level, and you're like, man, okay, I've done this. Now I want to scale into something else. So I think that we are all like that, and maybe my spouse too, my partner too is like that. My wife is like that.
But a lot of people, I don't think all is a broad term.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why I say this. So people hate the fact that I talk how I talk, like I've been about aviation. Like most of my colleagues are like, bro, Efika, what do you mean? Because our retirement is 65.
Mm-hmm.
Let's write this out to the sun. They're not thinking about anything other than this.
Mm-hmm.
Like for them, it's woo. Yeah, they might ask for more money here and there. Yeah. But they're not. There's nothing. They've reached the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the problem with that is that you lock yourself from your potential. I think we all have such a great potential to do much more than what we can right now. And when you lock that potential by believing that whatever I'm doing right now is all that I was meant to do, I think that's where the danger is. And I'm saying this because I look at, so for example, we're talking about the royal family here. Look at what do you call them? Look at soldiers in the army in the US. I feel like when a soldier is a soldier in my country, in Kenya, there will be a soldier for life till retirement. But I've met guys who are 30 years old and they are veterans. But what they've been able to do even after being veterans is, a lot. They've done a lot, way more. You look at an athlete in my home country, most athletes will be athletes, cops, but also athletes, and they'll be just that. But so some of my students are in the Canadian national team. So I have a student who I had to give so many accommodations this semester.
What sport?
So there's
hockey.
Not hockey. There's something else. opened.
Lacrosse.
So there's one, yes, lacrosse. So I have some on the lacrosse national team, but there's another game that it's like tennis, but it's not tennis. Is it paddle?
There's paddle, badminton. There's paddle.
I think it's paddle. They use this ball that doesn't bounce and rackets that are tiny. Like kind of like
Probably paddle.
Table tennis sort of. And so you look at them, but they also have this other thing that they're doing because they're going to retire from that, and then they're going to do this other thing, and then they'll be doing something else. And so that in itself has inspired me to know that I can do way more than just teaching or doing research.
And that's for you. I think that has a lot to do with exposure.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying all these folks in these countries, they've gotten this level of exposure that enables them to do what they're doing. And maybe you growing in the kind of family setting that you grew up in set you up for that. And I also think another thing is I give a lot of credit to my uncles. So I'm an only child to a mother. So I don't know who my father is. So
I am your father.
You're my age mate, man. There's no way on earth you can be my father. But anyways, so my uncles played a very big role in making sure that I was comfortable throughout my life. They, and I normally tell my cousins. So my family is very closely knit, and we support each other all around. And so I normally tell my cousins that I've spent the largest amount of money in this family has been spent on me to become who I am. And what that has done, it's given me opportunity to explore things. So those guys, they didn't have the opportunity to explore these things. Because if they did explore these things, then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to explore them. And so I give a lot of credit to them making life comfortable enough for me to then get to this point. I'm like, you know what? I can explore all these things I can play about in my 20s and stuff like that.
And you're doing great. But let me ask you, what's a dollar amount for you to stop everything and just now reconfigure? Like, now I have resources.
Reconfigure to what?
Whatever. It could be anything. Maybe you just want to travel the world. Maybe you just want to chill at home. Maybe you just want to whatever. Because right now we are all kind of tied to the resources we earn from the things we do.
Yeah.
But for you, I might have a blank check here, bro. Like,
I'm normally so I've had you say 100 million, or is it sad you to say 100 million?
Shillings, yeah.
It's 100 million. So my figure is around that. So my figure is that if I would sell everything that I own, not sell everything that I own. So if my investments were at $1 million, I think $1 million is enough for, and it's available in cash. So in cash investment. So in either in some ETF somewhere, or whatever, cash dividend ETF. It is possible then for me to step out and do whatever. But that was when I was single, and then I realized that I have a baby now, I have a daughter now, and I have a wife, and maybe they may be dependent on me. And now I don't know what that figure is, unfortunately.
Let me ask you also another side question. Now, this curiosity: do you smoke weed?
No, I don't.
You take shrooms?
No, I don't. I don't do any drugs.
You don't drink?
No.
So, sober guy? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I never have.
I never have. I make jokes with Muaf. The guys who are sober are very dangerous because they have other, what's the word? There's a word. I'm forgetting it.
Having seen both sides of the coin, I'm definitely more dangerous sober.
True.
I can create whatever I want to create in my head and actualize it.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes I feel I used to take substances to dumb down my potential, to blend in. Yeah, and it's a hard truth I came to. I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm not here like Kanye West, like, yeah, I'm the genius, I'm the Medici family. No.
Put up a picture of
But
Kanye.
I know that in many ways I'm unconventional, and so are you. That's why this has been effortless, man. Yeah.
But I was gonna weave in between, your life story, because I'm very interested to know your life but maybe the best way to do this is to have another pod where we can have that chat. I mean, it could be in a few weeks or a few months, a few years.
I think my life story is the present. I told my life story chronologically on CTA. Shout out Esther.
Yeah. Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. That one I gave.
But I haven't watched your CTA yet.
People hold me to that story so much, even like my fans. A lot of my fans are CTA or EOTWE or
I only have your snippets of your story from EOTWE and maybe Mwaf or Kisiangani.
So it's so funny. People like me on like, I have EOTWE version ya Ikonini fans. I have EOTWE, of course, the platform fans.
Yeah.
There are guys who have just put me on the CTA. Like for you, the CTA is how I know you and that's who you are. So because of that, I avoid doing a life story per se. So I was born in 1990, November 22nd. I prefer more the present, and we can go back in time.
Yeah.
Bring it back in.
What I'm trying to figure out though is to ask better questions, because I feel like I still struggle with asking the right questions so that I can blend my story. And so what I want to do is, find the present version of you, but at the same time be able to chronologically weave in your life story. But maybe I'm going to be able to figure that out someday. I'm still getting there. I want to use your line. I stole this line from you, or maybe I was using it before you. I want to land this plane. Yeah.
I knew it. Tell me.
And so there's a tradition that I have here, and I borrowed this tradition from the presidency of the United States, whereby the president will leave a letter for the next president who's coming into office. And so what we do here is have conversations and ask questions. I normally have the most recent guest leave a question for the next guest on the show. And I normally don't see this question until I'm sitting right before the guest. And so your question seems incredibly different from what I'm used to. So I normally have people asking, longer questions, different versions of questions. But this is a
Can you tell me who
question.
asked? Oh, that's
I can tell you, away from the pod, because my episodes are not chronological.
Okay.
Yeah. So favorite movie is what he wrote.
Wow, that's broad.
We can take all the answers.
Wow. Okay. Interstellar.
Okay.
Wolf of Wall Street. Flight. Casino.
It's Flight with Denzel.
Denzel, yes.
Yeah. So when the plane takes off the pinnacle of a church or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Casino.
I haven't watched Casino.
Joe Pesci and De Niro.
Have you had different versions of favorite movies across your life?
I'm thinking of the ones that left me with like, wow. Interstellar for sure is one of the ones that left me the wow. 23 years I have waited. Bane. Bane has to get his credit. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I haven't watched Interstellar.
What matters is our plan. Have you watched Dark Knight?
Dark Knight? Yeah, I've watched Dark Knight. I just can't remember, what it's about. Yeah.
What else? I think though that covers it. I'm sure I'll go back when I'm driving home. I forgot to say it. But Interstellar was impactful, man. Flight was impactful. Wolf of Wall Street was impactful. Those are movies that left me feeling like I can relate to certain elements. For Interstellar, it's the dreamy nature that I have. I'm a dreamer by nature. I like to look up to dream. I like to look out the sky. Flight, story of my life, alcoholic pilot, who really wants to just be proper. Casino was just a story so well told by what's this guy called? Not Tarantino. Scorsese. Martin Scorsese.
Yeah. It's a dangerous movie, man.
In my young age, I could understand that, damn, this story is told well, And of course, he also did Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street, of course, excess.
Yeah.
I have a propensity for going that path if I don't rewatch myself, Give me $2 million, I don't know who I am, That person leaves, that crazy guy who can push boundaries till the very end, So that person lives inside me. So when I watch Wolf of Wall Street, I'm like, it's crazy. I get it. Yeah, I think that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sitting here listening to you, man. I think on the scale of movies, I'm way down there. So my favorite one is Three Idiots. Three Idiots, an Indian movie.
I know Three Idiots. I remember when I was in air school, doing the rounds in our living quarters. People really liked it. It's long, huh?
Yeah, man. Indian movies are like 3 hours long. Like,
what about it? Is it the scholarly side, the scholarly element where they go to like a school, college?
Yeah. What about it stood out to me? And now I think the last time I watched the movie, when I was in uni and maybe past uni, a couple of years after uni, I rewatched and watched the movie maybe 10 times or something. But I think what stood out for me is the fact that that guy who was looked down upon was actually very cool.
And on a lighter note, The Other Guys was a good movie. That's not comedy.
Yeah.
One of my friends had the privilege of flying Will Ferrell, and the company policy is that you cannot be like, hey, give me a selfie, because they're coming here, they're doing safari, like, shut up, don't ask me questions. And I would not have been able to hold myself.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell.
That guy is so young, but yet so
funny, man. Like, I would have been unable to contain
Let's put up a picture of Will Ferrell.
Because another pilot I know and he's one of the senior guys in that company, the one who keeps reminding guys of the policy. He couldn't help himself when he was flying Chris Rock. Yeah. And Chris Rock didn't take it well, man. Yeah, I'm just here with my family, man. Like, he took it badly. It ended up being sent to, like, the boss of the company. And he had, but imagine your hero. You think if I see Joe Rogan, I'm just going to, there's Joe Rogan. There's Joe Rogan. Like, yeah, yo, Joe! Yeah, but I definitely wouldn't help myself. Yeah, but I must say, hey, this has been good, man. This is a good podcast. I need to, you need to do one with, well, let me not say you need to, it's your choice. I think you should do one with Sajid as well.
I want to, and I think that's why I asked you that. I'd like to hang out with him.
Yeah. I think you guys could also have an amazing conversation. Farid as well.
Yeah, if he'd be willing to come down to my, my studio. I don't know if I should call
How
it
long are you around for?
Till November 1.
That's not far.
So I'm here for 1 more month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's easy. That's easy to make happen. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to give you the opportunity now to write your question to the next guest on the show. So take your time whenever you're ready. Just write it down.
Does it have to be deep or philosophical?
Whichever direction you want to take it, man. Some guy recently asked a question which was like a paragraph long. I couldn't even comprehend the question, but some of the guests comprehended it with one reading. Eric, man, hanging out with you has been the best thing ever to happen to me in the recent past, man. You are very knowledgeable. You are free to talk with, and you are happy to share your mind with the world. And I think, like you said, the world needs more of people like you. And your mind needs to be protected too, at all costs, man. As we are finally actually landing the plane, I don't know if we're going to be, we're on the ground now and we are rolling to the gate, we're taxiing to the gate. You can give the folks here a parting shot.
Parting shot is first, I'll say, before November 1, you have to come do EOTWE.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, that one is without a shadow of doubt.
I already put in the key in my ignition.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. Parting shot, man. It's not always easy to be yourself, but do as much as possible to live in your truth, Societal pressures, norms are not necessarily your story, and that's to everyone. Also, whilst doing that, have your feet planted in reality. Don't be too fringe that you completely disconnect. Understand there are certain implicits. Food, shelter, clothing. Provide for yourself. Legally, of course. But dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to question. That's all I'll say. Yeah.
Bam. Folks, if you made it this far, I think it's because you did enjoy this episode. So if you haven't yet, I'm going to encourage you to subscribe to this channel and remember to tell your friends to tell their friends. I've been hanging out with Eric Mutiso, a.k.a. Mr. EOTWE. I don't know if people call him Mr.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's okay.
Of the EOTWE Podcast. Go check it out if you haven't yet. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video below. Till next time, do take care.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much for the invite. That was amazing.